Welcome to Yoga with Sabrina. Today's practice is for core strength and finding balance. We will work through various postures to bring awareness to our core and our belly, and we'll practice some balancing poses. So when you're ready, meet me at the top of your mat in mountain pose. With your feet about hip distance apart, press into the four corners of your feet, big toe, baby toe, pad of your foot, heel of your foot. Pressing the mat away from you, engage through your legs and gently tuck in your belly, lengthening through the spine. Arms are down alongside the body, fingers reaching towards your mat. And allow your shoulder blades to roll down your back and to soften. And just find some energy here in your mountain pose. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And just notice the activation in the body. The muscles that are engaged. Notice your feet, your legs, your belly, and your arms. And just take a breath in and take a breath out. Let's do that again. Inhale. And exhale. Bend your knees slightly. Inhale, reach arms up, look up. Exhale, standing forward, bend. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, step back to plank pose. Holding your plank pose here. Bring your belly button in towards your spine. Press the mat away from you. And just take a breath. Exhale, soften through your knees, press to downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward, left foot forward, standing forward bend. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, back to plank. Hold your plank. Engage through your belly. Start to waken up your core. Press into your mat. Exhale, bend your knees, downward facing dog. Just a gentle down dog. Step your right foot forward, left foot forward, standing forward bend. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Reach up, look up. Exhale, hands down alongside the body. Inhale, reach arms up, look up. Exhale, standing forward bend. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, step back to plank. Hold your plank, tuck your belly in, press the mat away from you. And your heels reaching toward the back of your mat on the balls of your feet. Drop your knees if you need to. Inhale. Exhale, soften through your knees. Downward facing dog. Breathe. Hold here in your downward facing dog. Take a breath. And then start to lengthen through your arms. Press your fingers into the mat. Your chest comes towards your knees. Straighten your legs just a little bit more. Soften through your ankles. Come to tabletop. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. Find your balance here. Engage through this pose. Find your strength activating through your muscles. Start to lift your right knee off the mat. Extend your right leg in behind you. Flex your foot. Bring your heel in alignment with your hip. And then right hip level with the left. So we want to sometimes turn up to help balance. We want our hips parallel. Reach your right heel up, press through your mat, and then bring your right knee in towards your chest. Hug it in, head to knee, and then extend your right leg back out. Bring your right knee in, hug it in, curl through the back, and then right leg goes out. One more time. Knee comes in, forehead to knee, squeeze, extend your right leg out, and then come back to tabletop. Inhale and exhale. Curl your toes under, downward facing dog. Breathe. Come back to table. We'll do that on the left side. Activate through your tabletop. Gauge through your belly. Extend your left leg. Left toes flex toward the left knee. As if you were pressing your foot into the back wall. Really lengthen. Left hip comes down to meet the right, parallel. Press into your hands. Left knee comes in toward the chest. Curl through the back. Head comes towards your knee. Extend your left leg. Bring your left knee in. And then extend. One more time. Left knee in, hug it in. Press through your hands. Left leg extends. Knee comes down, curl your toes under. Downward facing dog. Breathe. Beautiful. Right leg reaches up, three-legged dog. Curl your knee in towards your belly. Come to your plank pose. Squeeze your right knee in. Step it forward. Come up to warrior one. Find your foundation and your balance. Left leg comes flat onto the, or left foot comes flat onto the mat. About a 45-degree angle. Right knee over right ankle. Breathe. Exhale, come into your warrior two. Look over your right middle finger. Inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, fold forward over your right foot, step back to plank. Chaturanga lower. Inhale, upward facing dog. Stretch out our belly and our core. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe. Left leg reaches up, three-legged dog. Keep your hips parallel, press into your mat, soften through your right ankle, reach. Curl your left knee in towards your chest. Come back to your plank pose. Keep your left knee lifted, squeeze, step it forward. Come into your warrior one. Breathe. Come into your warrior two pose. Step your right foot in. Look over your left middle finger. Breathe. Inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, frame your left foot. Come back to plank. Set yourself up, chaturanga lower. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe. Let's come back to tabletop. Knees under hips, hands under wrists. Extend your right leg. Lift it off your mat, press it into the wall behind you. Lower your right hip parallel to your left. Bring your right knee to your right elbow and back. Right knee to left elbow and then back. Right knee to right elbow. Reach your right leg back. Right knee to left elbow and then reach it back. Breathe. Back to tabletop. Curl your toes under, downward facing dog. Reach your right leg up, three-legged dog. Step it through. Come into high lunge. So left leg slides back Come onto the balls of your feet. Find your balance. Inhale, reach arms up. So high lunge. And then exhale, bend through your left knee just a little bit. Press into the balls of your feet, all four corners of your right foot. Breathe. So finding balance and energy in our core here, staying active and elevated. Press into your right heel, right toes. Breathe. Exhale, fold forward toward your right foot, step back to plank pose, chaturanga lower. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Left leg reaches up, three-legged dog. And then bring your left leg forward. Come into your high lunge on the left side. Find your foundation. Inhale, reach arms up. Bend gently through your right knee. Press into the ball of your right foot. Left foot is engaged. Press into your mat. Beautiful. Exhale, fold toward your left foot. Come back to your plank pose. Holding your plank pose here. Exhale, knees come down, toes together, come into child's pose. Let's take a couple of breaths. Breathe. Come back to tabletop. Step your left foot forward. Keep your right knee on the mat, right hand on the mat, coming into a low lunge. We'll twist a little bit, turn toward your left knee, reach your left arm up, look up at your left thumb. Exhale, frame your front foot, come back to tabletop, curl your toes under, downward facing dog. Right foot forward, left knee down. Twisted lunge on the right side, reach your right arm up. Breathe. Right hand comes down, back to plank. Chaturanga, lower really slow, glue your elbows in, and just before you touch the mat, press yourself back up to your plank, and then downward facing dog. Beautiful. Great job. Bend through your knees, step or hop to the top of your mat, standing forward bend. Exhale. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, standing forward bend. Bend through your knees, reach your arms up, look up. Thumbs back, hips forward, reach. Exhale, hands to prayer. Breathe. Inhale, reach arms up, look up. Exhale, standing forward bend. Step or hop back to your plank pose. Hold your plank pose. Curl your belly button in a little bit towards your spine, activating the core, and then roll onto the outer edge of your right foot, inner edge of your left foot. Coming into a side plank, but keeping your hands where they are. Just rolling back and forth. Outer edge of the right foot, outer edge of the left foot. Keep your hips up. Engage through your core and your back. Beautiful. Rolling from side to side. And then come back to your plank and then move to downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Back to plank. Knees up or knees down. You can stay in your high plank or your low plank. You can even come onto your forearms. Breathe. Bend through your knees, downward facing dog. Step or hop back to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Reach arms up, thumbs back, hips forward, reach. Exhale, hands to prayer. Let's take a breath. Inhale and exhale. Reach arms up, look up. Exhale, standing forward bend. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, back to plank. Roll to the outer edge of your left foot, inner edge of your right foot. Line up your left wrist with your left shoulder. Reach arm up for side plank. Keep your hips lifted, elevated, core is strong. And then right side. Side plank on the right. Breathe. Come back to plank. Step your right foot forward, left knee down. Reach arms up for lunge. Exhale, turn to your right, twisted lunge. Right arm can come back. Line up your foot. You can check your positioning and your alignment. Breathe. Right arm comes back, frame the front foot. Plank, lower down chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe. Left foot forward, right knee down. Inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, twist to the left. Twisted lunge. Twisted low lunge. Breathe. Frame your front foot. Sit back toward your right heel. And then bring yourself down to seated. Sit up nice and tall. Roll to the space between your sitting bone and your sacrum. That flat spot. Lift your heart, lift your gaze to align with your toes, so straight forward. Bring your hands down alongside your mat on either side of your body, your hips, and then lift your feet off the mat, look at your toes. Straighten your legs as much as you can. Roll back, reach arms forward. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Bend through your knees, sit up a little taller, so shins are parallel with the mat. Boat pose. One more time, if you can straighten your legs, sit tall, reach. 2, 1, bend your knees, sit up tall, shins are parallel with the mat. You've got this. Cross your legs, sit tall, roll forward. Come to tabletop, step back to plank, downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Feel the energy and strength in your body. Bend through your knees, step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, fold. Bend through your knees, inhale, reach arms all the way up, thumbs back, hips forward, reach. Exhale, hands to prayer. Breathe. Root down through your left foot, bend through your right knee, stand tall. Right knee comes up toward the ceiling. So standing on one leg. With your right knee bent. Step your right foot back. Come into warrior one on the left. Inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, warrior two. Just notice how these feel different, maybe compared to when we practiced at the beginning of our class today. Look over your left thumb. Reach. Root down. Feel elevated through your core. Breathe. Exhale, left hand, left arm comes onto left thigh. And not leaning on your left thigh, but just lightly resting it, still staying engaged through your core. Reach your right arm overhead toward the top of your mat, keeping it long, extended side angle. Great for digestion, and great for building energy through the legs and the core. Back to warrior two. Windmill your right hand forward, frame your front foot. Come back to plank. Lower down chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, fold. Come all the way up to standing. Thumbs back, hips forward. Reach your arms. Look back if you can. Exhale, hands to prayer. Press into your right foot. Come onto the tips of your toes of your left. Elongate through the spine. And then bring your left knee up toward the ceiling. Flex your left foot. Standing on one leg. Step your left foot back. Come into warrior one on the left. Breathe. Come into warrior two. Look out over your right middle finger. Line up your arms. You can look back at your alignment. Reach your arms, open your heart space. And then exhale, right arm gently rests on the right thigh. Extended side angle on the right. Breathe. Come back to warrior two. Windmill your left arm forward, frame your front foot. Come back to plank pose. From our plank pose, we'll come into side plank. Outer edge of your left foot, inner edge of your right foot. Lift your hips up, right arm comes up. Breathe. Maybe you even get a little ambitious and stack your right foot on top of your left. Reach your hips up. And then come back to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe. Back to plank. Come to side plank on the right. Take your time to get there. Line yourself up. Stack your feet if you want to. Beautiful. Back to plank. Last chaturanga. Lower down slow. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, let's come to child's pose. Sit back on your feet and your heels. Knees are slightly apart. Arms are extended. Rest your elbows, your shoulders. Breathe. Come back to tabletop when you're ready. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. Find your foundation. Reach your right foot back, lift it off the mat, flex your right foot. Line up your hips. Press into the wall behind you, the imaginary wall that you're pressing your right foot against, and then see if you can extend your left arm straight out in front of you. Palm facing toward the center of your mat, thumb pointing toward the ceiling. And then bring yourself back to table. Set yourself up. Extend your left foot. Align your hips. And then see if you can extend your right arm out. Breathe. Come back to table. Sit back for child's pose. This time, let's widen our legs a little bit more, knees toward the outer edges of your mat. We'll make a little triangle with our hand, our index fingers, and our thumb. Just let our head rest in that triangle. Breathe. Breathe into your arms and your shoulders. Soften through your legs and your belly. And then make your way up. We'll come into hero's pose. Sit back on your heels. Bring your hands in behind you, interlace your fingers behind your back, and then press your knuckles away from you. Open through your chest and your heart space. Big breath in. Come to kneeling. Tuck your toes under. And then see if you can press your knuckles down away from you. Hips come forward. So staying forward. See if you can come into a gentle back bend. Looking up toward the ceiling. Opening through your chest and your heart space. Head up. Sit back on your heels. Let the tops of your feet come on the mat. We'll come into child's pose. Breathe. So that was our camel pose. Just a gentle one. And then come onto your mat seated with your legs crossed. Let's take a couple of breaths. Rest your hands on your knees. Breathe. And then gently twist towards your right side. Left hand comes onto the right knee. Lengthen through your spine. A little twist here in the belly and our organs and our core. And then exhale, head comes back to center, shoulders, then belly, and then a gentle twist to the left. And then back to center. Extend your legs out in front of you. And you can come down onto your back lying. If you want a little challenge, you can come down one vertebra at a time. With your knees slightly bent, heart lifted, engaging through our core and our back here. Slowly lowering down. Keep your feet on your mat, bend through your knees, and then just bring your legs into bound angle. Soles of your feet together, knees open to the side, and then open through your arms. Like a T shape, or you can come into cactus arms, whatever feels good for you today. Let's just open through our front of our shoulders. Did a little work on our arms today too, with all of our plank and our balanced postures. Breathe in and breathe out through the nose. Just take a couple of breaths to settle in. And then bring your knees back together. Open your feet about hip distance apart. Bring your hands down alongside your body, palms of your hands on the mat. We'll set up for a bridge posture. So shoulder blades on the mat. Press into your feet. Bring your hips up. Breathe. So we'll come into a one-legged bridge here. So setting it up, coming into it at your own pace, finding some strength in our core and our belly. And we'll see if we can balance on one foot for our one-legged bridge. Reach your right foot up towards the ceiling, as if you're pressing your foot against the ceiling. Stay engaged here. And then back to bridge, hips up. Set yourself up and then come on to one-legged bridge on the right side. Press your left foot into the ceiling, reach, and then make your way back to bridge, and then slowly lower down one vertebra at a time. Squeeze your knees in towards your chest, we'll stretch in our back. And then just rock from side to side with your knees wide apart, just rolling on the back of your sacrum. So when we work our core, all of our muscles are connected. We work with our back and our legs, also with our ribs. When we're breathing, expanding through the torso. So our core is really from the mid-thigh all the way up to the middle of our torso. All of those muscles are connected and are affected by our core strength. So I want to work all of those areas. Breathe in, stretch, strengthen, lengthen. Just find a balance in our postures. Moving in different ways, strengthening different parts of our body. And then come back to center. Bring your legs out long, arms alongside the body, palms facing up. We'll come into final Savasana where we can receive the work we have just done. Close your eyes down. And then just start to soften with each exhale, letting your mat and your major joints connect and soften. Your shoulders, your hips, knees and feet, ankles. Just letting go. Soften through your face, your mouth. Feel your shoulder blades on the mat. Letting go of any tension in your arms and your hands. And as you exhale, notice your belly. Release any tension in your back, the front of your hips, your legs, your ankles and toes. And then even relax any tension in your skin. You're holding any tension. Let that go. Around your face and your eyebrows. And we'll take a few breaths here in our final Shavasana. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And you're welcome to stay here as long as you want. If you're ready to come out, just roll to your right side. Take a breath on your right side. And then slowly make your way up into seated. Cross your legs. And then bring your hands to the center of your heart space. And just take a moment to thank yourself for making it onto your mat today and practicing yoga for your health and your well-being. I hope you've enjoyed. Namaste.